Hey guys, it's Chloe from King's Crossing. I'm here to do a neighborhood inspired by my boy Teddy. So I'm going to be working on the French Alps. Now, this is the area that I'm going to be starting with, and I sped it up a lot because you're about to see a lot of terraforming. And a quick note for anyone with light sensitivity, there's going to be a lot of white from the snow on the ground here. So if you have a headache, migraine, or cluster disease, just be prepared for that. Now let's get started. So I got Teddy as one of my starting villagers, and when I was working on this build, I knew I had to look for other villagers with log cabins. Now, Beau happened kind of on accident. I just loved him, and my mom got me an amiibo, but I got Erik on purpose so that I could make this space really look like it belonged to this mountainous region. What I'm doing right now is I'm terraforming the outline of my space. Now, this was definitely more in my comfort zone than the canal build because there's no straight lines. I don't go more than 5 squares in a row in a straight line, anywhere except for where it connects on the left here. And now I'm going through and smoothing out all of the corners. So I went ahead and skipped most of the footage of me filling in that space because the video would have been like an hour long if I had kept it in, even at 4 times speed, which is what we're at. It takes a long time. So before you start a big terraforming project, just be prepared for that. So this is one of the only areas on my island that I take it up to the 3rd level. And I did that on purpose because I wanted this area to feel more mountainous than anywhere else. The reason I keep looking at my map, by the way, is so that I can see how this terraforming project looks from the map. I wanted to make sure nothing looked too organized or manufactured. So I just kept looking back for that naturalistic look. This second level that I worked on was really based around the idea of wanting hiking trails throughout the Alps. So I basically just raised up any area where you wouldn't be walking through and tried to give it enough space that I could put houses down once I got the chance. When I'm opening that one space up, which you've probably seen me do a couple of times now, I'm opening that up so I have an escape route when I'm filling in the terraformed area I've just finished. And now I'm working on my 4th level, which you can't put anything on and you can't climb up there yourself. But for this, at least, to create the feeling of the mountains, I did build up to that 4th level. And I'm definitely playing with it a lot because I wanted it to look big enough that you could tell I had put them up on the map, but not so big that it's really obvious there was nothing on it. And here I just decided this space was too open and that I could probably fit all of my houses in without leaving this empty space. I decided the whole space was a little too bare, so I went ahead and did some waterscaping just to make the whole place feel more natural. Well, I think it's really, really cool when people do tons and tons of trees. So long as you keep the space full of greenery, I ended up not needing as many as I thought. I grew too many for this project, actually. So if you can't tell, I'm really struggling with this one water feature. There just wasn't quite enough room to do what I wanted to do. I ended up being really happy with switching it to a river because I was able to pull that build all the way down to the bottom level. So kind of similarly to how I do my terraforming, I actually outline most of my path before I fill it in. I just find it easier to create the shape first before it really looks good. So I'm planting a ton of bushes. I ended up buying even more than this, like twice as many as this at least. And I'm planting them all over the place. Because this is a more cottagecore build, and because I wanted it to look like an overgrown forest, I really tried to make sure that every single square of space had something on it. So you'll see me fill in with different items throughout the rest of the build. Now I drew out squares. This is inspired by Amy at King's Crossing. I drew these squares out of the size of the plots I'd be putting down, so I knew how to sort of build around them. This one's for the campsite, and the other one that you saw is for, I believe, Erik's house. put down so many leaf piles. And this is my little ode to Lukrembo, my mom's first island, which we're working on an island tour actually for that. So you'll get an idea of why it looks like that pretty soon. I just felt like I had to fill this space in. It was taking up too much room and it didn't really serve a purpose. I guess my recommendation for a really big build like this would be put things down like I'm doing, give it a try, see if it looks right, because you don't know until you've done it. And don't make the same mistake that I did. Planting bamboo shoots behind trees does not keep them from growing. I thought that it would. The only way that you can keep a tree from growing is by planting a sapling. If you're trying to place something like this that's really close to the edge and it's not fitting, try moving the position that you're placing it from. Sometimes you're just slightly in that grid, and so it thinks that there's no room to put that down. But as you can see, that's not always the case. And it's time for the final reveal. The main thing that I've added since the end of the build was the red windflowers. Thank you so much to Eamon for helping me out with that. And weeds. And last but not least, these mountain standees that my mom, Amy from King's Crossing, made for me. I also gave Teddy a rocking chair because he needed one, and multiple people told me that he needed a place to sit down. And last but not least, I'm going to show you the little lookout spot I made. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Monday for another video. Thank you so much for watching.